Right, this video is going through a load of reset concepts for Illaoi and Blitzcrank that I recorded quite a while ago. This first sequence all about getting air reset. So often at Illaoi BNB, get to the corner as usual. Call the Blitzcrank assist. But depending on the timing when you call the assist, you can either restand them next to the tentacle for like a throw or a low mix-up or more pressure or whatever you want with tentacles there. Or you can bring them down into the tentacle as it spawns, which pops them up. And yeah, so depending on what you do, get the mix-up of your choice. Of course, all characters can escape the air grab if they hold down for a down tech, I think. I think if you neutral jump and then time the grab, I think you can catch both a back tech in the air and a forward tech. I was just forward jumping here in the recording because I'm lazy. And then you can also go for a bit of aerial pressure if you don't want to go for a grab and keep them in the corner, or I don't know, whatever you want really. Right, so here I'm just finishing the combo with Illaoi with air H into Blitzcrank assist. At which point, get the restand and a bit of a sandwich situation going on with Illaoi on one side, Blitz on the other. So you can do your handshake tag at various timings to try and get left-right mix-ups going on. Right, the same concept continues here. Again, Illaoi BNB. Very familiar. Grab. Here I'll do neutral jump. Big flash to land on one side. And if you do a super neutral jump into a big splash, as you'll see, I'll actually come down as a cross up. So another little layer to the mix up. Or you can do empty jump low, something like that. If you use freestyle views, you can add even further layers to these resets, tagging back and forth. But here's a sort of something you can do mid-screen to set up a tentacle, go into a low or a throw or whatever. Not sure exactly why you do it instead of taking the opponent to the corner, but it's just an option you can have. Try and catch someone out. You don't want to get too predictable with your reset timing, ideally. But again, I'm doing these resets after a full BNB. But there might be situations where you get random aerial hits, aerial juggles where you can't get the full BNB. So you might be able to slip into one of these reset situations at that point, making it a bit worthwhile. Who knows? Just a little sneaky one off an overhead in the corner. Leads to a lot of damage total. And here, Blitzcrank, mid-screen. You can set myself up for a little combo off the throw. Again, finish the combo however you fancy. This next section is a load of sort of resets or pressure situations, whatever they might end up being, that use the buff on the wrecking ball that you got a couple months ago now, where the fully charged wrecking ball is really plus and block if you land it on them when they're standing, if they block it. Depending on so this here, got the assist coming in, depending on the timing of the assist, what assist you're using with other characters potentially. Basically it depends on where they end up, in the air or on the ground or whatever, so it can Lots of variable in this situation depending on when you start the wrecking ball, how far you fall. Something to play around with potentially. If they're not paying attention, you might get an extra combo off it, like this. Or if they block it standing, you get extra pressure. A few teabags after I missed a combo there. So interesting interactions can happen using this. It's by no means foolproof or amazing, but an option. That's when without an assist, where if I had landed and blocked, you'd be at plus wherever the frames are now, I can't remember. But it's a good plus. But with gaps in and stuff, I'm sure you can. There's potential to get 2H'd as Blitz in the wrecking ball, or parry potentially. That's where the different timing comes in. You can whiff your assist and tag into it while still holding down the button for Blitzcrank, so he carries on swinging and he'll come in. And there's potential options into resets. I don't know. Mess around with it. And even if you get the whole thing to fully combo, there's not a reset opportunity at the end of it, which I messed up. Right, this whole section is some more sort of mid-screen resets. Again, Illaoi can always take to the corner, which more often than not is probably a more valuable thing, but there might be situations where you want to slip something in, surprise them. Well, here you get sort of, the sandwich situation. That can lead to, left, rights, depending on when you do the handshake tag. You can actually get the jump over air 2H. Oh, here's a C's option. You can get the jump over air 2H to combo, which is probably preferable. This is just showing by jumping away from the C's, and how, because Blitzcrank's assist is still out there, you can still potentially get a punish on the jump away. More variations on the theme here. Just getting that tentacle out mid-screen. That's using a charging 2H. That's with the double overhead option into a pickup with Blitzcrank. I don't actually know if the jumping 2H cancelled into the air S2 from Illaoi. I don't know if that's a block string, if they actually do block the first one, or if there's enough gap to make it a double overhead that will catch them. I don't know. But there's options. Play around with it. And again, combo of choice if you fancy them. This is more of the same sort of setup. There's the jump over comboing. And then into a neutral jump reset. Similar vibes to a previous option. I think you get the idea, you can mix all these bits in together. But again, depending on timing, you can really affect the way the opponent's character gets moved around. Try and get that to work into your favour. Here's an interesting one. This one you definitely, I think, what you want to make sure the jump over air 2H connects as part of the initial combo, because the air S1 actually slaps the tentacle around. I don't think that's an overhead, and I'm pretty sure if the first jump over air 2H doesn't combo, I think they can potentially duck under the air S1. But if the air S1 does whiff, you can always handshake tag into a grab or Blitzcrank low or pressure or whatever you want. So again, just a little option. Blitzcrank will be plus with it if they block the tentacle. If they don't block the tentacle that spawns up, they get launched up for it. So another little left-right mix up, hopefully. And then at the end, these are just a load of little reset combos that I haven't really bothered to fully flesh out, to be honest. Similar situations to the jump over 2H mid-screen things that I was messing around with. Again, I don't know if there's more juice to be squeezed out of these situations. Testing out where you can slip in a grab. Sure, there must be points in there you can sneak a nice little grab in. Especially in freestyle where you could potentially get in a grab and then tag back into Illaoi. There's probably some dangerous stuff here, but not quite like that, eh? That little dash under, some amazing amount of resets I've managed to get completely by accident using that. Oh, that's just a running grab just for fun to end it.